the Intel sales manager in the area says, look, I got a meeting with Apple to talk about their new computer they're working on. So we got a chance to try to sell them the Intel CPU, which is, at the time was called the Intel 386 chip. It's the first 32-bit version of the Intel processor. So we got a meeting with Steve Jobs. Let's see if we can work with him. So the meeting takes place at Intel Santa Clara 6. And on our side, we had a couple of the founders, Andy Grove, Gordon Moore. We had Ted Hoff, who was the guy whose name is on the patent for a microprocessor, the original guy who designed the first one. We had John Crawford, who was our 386 CPU designer, architect, and so on. So we had all our best guys there. Steve Jobs comes over to Santa Clara 6 with his Mac team, and including another guy he brought with him was a guy named Bill Joy, who was already pretty famous for inventing something called Berkeley Unix. And he had taken the Unix operating system and done some modifications to it and improved it. That eventually turned into the operating system for the Mac. So on Steve's side, he had some of the best software engineers on the planet. And on our side, we had most of the best hardware engineers on the planet. And they all sit down and ready, go. And this thing was like so cool. I'm sitting there watching it. I'm on the side just kind of taking this whole thing in like a world championship tennis match, going back and forth. And the Intel guys are talking about what chip does and how it does it, why they did it. And then the Mac guys will start talking about how the software should work and the operating system and how it all. And it was really detailed way deep down in the computer software and hardware architecture. So if you're an engineering nerd like me, this was like heaven watching all this going on.